Hey, it's 2 a.m. with Jason. Hope you're doing well. If you didn't get a chance to catch the sermon this morning, I highly recommend you do. Um, it is a challenge for us to take a look at the city of Sardis and to look at what they had and how they were caught sleeping and they were not doing the due diligence that they needed to. And there's a warning for that. There's a warning for us as well as to how we can make sure that we are on top of what we need to be on top of and staying true to what we need to stay true to. The verse that popped out to me as I was thinking about it was in Matthew 23, and it says, "Woe to you, teachers of the law, you Pharisees, you hypocrites! You're like whitewashed tombs. You look beautiful on the outside, but the inside is full of dead man's bones." And in the same way, you appear righteous on the outside, but inside you're full of hypocrisy and wickedness. I think it's so important for us to make sure at Christmas time they talked about how, when it comes to wrapping presents and things like this, it's just because the present looks pretty on the outside does not mean it's good on the inside. And we need to make sure that we are right on the inside and not falling asleep like the people of Sardis did, not making sure that we are not um, complacent, uh, that we're staying true to what we should be doing. It reminded me of the story, or that I found that Hans van Meegeren, and he was as an artist, and during the 1930s, 20s, 30s, somewhere in there, he was famous for painting Vermeers, and from the Netherlands. Well, after World War II, he was arrested for selling art to the Nazis, and which is crazy. And as he was arrested for it, his confession came. He said, "Well, actually, um, I didn't sell them actual paintings. I forged them all." And people were like, "What? How?" He admitted to forging over 200, uh, or about 200 different art pieces, and so he had made his living just forging this stuff, and it wasn't true. It's not real. And they said, I don't know about this. It's a two-year trial, and they gave him all the stuff. He says, you just recreate it as you would, and so he did. And they were like, wow, you actually did this. And so they had to go back, and all those people that had said these are real paintings, these were good, they've been fooled. They had been fooled, and what they thought was authentic was not. And it's so important for us that the guy ended up. He said he only served 1 year in jail because for forging it was 1 year. The death penalty is what you got for selling to the Nazis. He goes, "I'll confess. This game will be up." But I thought it was interesting because, um, so often they had to go back through and start looking more carefully. Like, wait a second here, the art that we have, is it real or is it not? And they started paying a lot more attention to it because they said, we want to make sure what we're doing is authentic, what we have is authentic. And I think it's important for us as Christians to reevaluate and say, okay, is what we are doing authentic? Is what we're doing real? And what is the world seeing it as? We don't want to put on a show. It needs to be authentic, and God knows that. The song that says, test me and try me, God, and see if there's any impure way in me. We need to keep looking at that and saying, God, help us at Christmas, but anytime, to make sure that we are being true to what we need to be true to, and we're honoring Him with what we do and say. So, dear God, I ask you'd help us as we go, that you'd help us, dear Lord, to honor you. You help us, dear Lord, to live true lives. Um, I thank you for who you are and for the message that was presented this morning and for opportunities we have to examine ourselves again. Help us, dear Lord, to do that. Help your word, dear Lord, to cut through and find the places that need to be shaped in us differently. Be with us now in your name we pray. Amen. Until next time.